Have you ever found yourself staring out the window, wondering if things will ever feel normal again? Maybe the doctors have given you the all clear, the medications are working, and your loved ones are breathing easier. But deep down, you still don't feel like you. That moment after a health scare, it changes things. Even after the danger passes, the emotional weight lingers, and suddenly the world feels just a little more fragile. You might notice yourself moving slower, double-checking every little ache, second-guessing whether to attend that family dinner or go on that morning walk. It's not that you're afraid. No, you've already been brave. It's just something inside feels shaken, that quiet kind of fear that whispers, what if it happens again? That's what we're talking about today. How to get back you, not just physically, but emotionally. How to feel strong again, bold again. How to trust your body, your instincts, and your ability to live fully and freely, even after a major health event. Because yes, it is possible. And no, it's not too late. In fact, it might just be the beginning of a stronger, wiser version of you. The journey back to confidence doesn't have to be loud or dramatic. It begins in small moments, little decisions that say, I'm still here, I still matter, and I'm not done yet. Whether you recently had a heart scare, surgery, a fall, or simply a diagnosis that shook your world, it's okay to feel vulnerable. But you don't have to stay there. Let's start with something surprisingly powerful, acknowledging what you've been through. So many people, especially those over 60, feel they have to be strong for everyone else. We push through the pain, downplay the fear, and try to carry on as if nothing happened. But healing begins with honesty. Give yourself permission to say, that scared me, that changed me. You don't have to pretend, and you're not weak for feeling shaken. This isn't about wallowing, it's about honoring. You survived something real. Your body fought hard. Your spirit endured. And now it deserves space to breathe, to feel, and to begin again. Sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is sit quietly and let your heart catch up with what your body has already survived. Now that we've given that part of you a little air, let's talk about the next step. It's all about rebuilding trust with your body. After a health scare, it's natural to become hyper-aware of every sensation. A twinge in your chest, a wobble in your step, a skipped beat. Your body, which once felt familiar, can start to feel foreign, suspicious even, like it might betray you again. But here's the thing. Your body isn't your enemy. It's your partner. It's the vessel that got you through. It worked overtime to keep you here. Maybe it's not perfect. Maybe it's slower than it used to be, but it's still showing up for you every single day, and that deserves respect. One of the best ways to rebuild that trust is through gentle, consistent movement. Nothing extreme, just a walk in the garden, some light stretching in the morning sun, even dancing slowly to your favorite old song in the living room. These small acts aren't just physical, they're symbolic. Every time you move with intention, you're telling your body, I believe in you again. And don't worry if you feel nervous at first. That's natural. Think of it like reconnecting with an old friend after a misunderstanding. It takes time to rebuild the bond, but each step you take is a vote of confidence. Each breath, a quiet reminder, we've got this. Now let's talk about something that often gets overlooked, your inner voice. After a health scare, that inner dialogue can turn dark. You might catch yourself thinking, I'm too old to bounce back, or what if this happens again? And those thoughts, they start shaping your reality. But just because you think something doesn't make it true. Thoughts are not facts, they're habits, and they can be changed. Start listening to how you speak to yourself. Are you kind, patient, encouraging, or do you scold and second-guess yourself? Would you speak to a dear friend the way you speak to yourself? Probably not. So try this simple shift. Every morning before you get out of bed, put your hand on your heart and whisper something gentle to yourself. It could be, I'm proud of you, or you're doing better than you think, or simply, today is a new day. You might feel silly at first, but these tiny affirmations can rewire your mindset. They help soften the fear and build new confidence, quietly, gradually, but powerfully. It's not about pretending to be okay when you're not. It's about building a kinder, more supportive inner world where healing can truly take place. And if you stumble, if you have a setback, that's okay too. Healing isn't a straight line. Some days you'll feel strong, others you might feel like curling up in bed, and both are part of the process. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. When you begin to change the way you speak to yourself, something remarkable happens. Your perspective starts to shift. The world that once felt uncertain begins to feel a little more manageable. You may even start noticing moments of calm, a flicker of joy, or the return of that quiet, steady confidence you thought was gone. But healing emotionally also means looking beyond yourself. And that brings us to another important part of bouncing back: reconnecting with people who lift you up. It's easy to pull away from others after a health scare. Maybe you don't want to burden anyone, or you worry they won't understand what you're going through. Sometimes even well-meaning friends and family don't know what to say, so the silence between you grows. You might tell yourself, "I'm fine on my own," and for a while that might feel safer. But the truth is, we aren't meant to go through life alone, especially not after a scare that shakes our foundation. Humans are wired for connection, and even the quietest conversation, the smallest act of presence, can spark something deeply healing inside you. You don't need a crowd. Sometimes just one person who truly listens, who lets you speak without fixing you, who simply says, "I hear you," can make all the difference. So maybe today is the day you reach out, call an old friend, invite someone for tea, say yes to a visit, let someone see you. And let yourself be seen, not just as someone recovering, but as someone still full of stories, wisdom, and light. And if you're not ready to talk about what you've been through, that's okay. Connection doesn't always need words. Sometimes just sitting beside someone, watching a favorite film, or walking in silence is enough. These are the bridges that slowly bring you back to the world and back to yourself. Now, once you've started to rebuild some emotional strength and reconnected with the people who matter, there's another piece to the puzzle that deserves your attention, celebrating even the smallest progress. After a health scare, it's common to set your sights on big milestones. I want to walk without the cane. I want to stop taking these medications. I want to feel normal again. And while these goals are valid, they can also feel overwhelming. The road back might seem endless. But here's a quiet truth. Progress doesn't always look like a finish line. Often, it looks like the tiny moments in between. Maybe today you took the stairs instead of the elevator. Maybe you managed to laugh again. Maybe you didn't need to rest after lunch like you usually do. These small wins matter. They're not tiny, they're proof. Proof that healing is happening, that you are changing, that strength is building. Try this. Keep a small journal or notebook, and each evening write down one thing you did that felt like a win. Just one. I walked to the mailbox. I made my own breakfast. I had the energy to call my daughter. Over time, you'll look back and see not just pages filled with ink, but a life steadily reawakening. This habit isn't just for reflection, it's for confidence. It trains your mind to focus on ability, not limitation, on movement, not stagnation. And the more you recognize progress, the more motivated you'll feel to keep going. Confidence doesn't return in a flash. It returns in gentle ripples, day by day. Now, while your body and heart begin to recover, don't overlook one more essential ally in your journey. Purpose. Yes, purpose. That deep sense of meaning that reminds you your story isn't over. In fact, it's just entering a new chapter. A health scare has a strange way of forcing us to slow down and ask big questions. What really matters now? What do I want to do with this second chance? How can I use what I've been through to live more intentionally? These questions are powerful, not frightening. They're the very seeds of renewal. Purpose doesn't have to be something grand or flashy. It can be as simple as deciding to grow a garden this season, or volunteering one afternoon a week, or reading to your grandchild, or writing down your life stories to pass along. Purpose is any act that gives your day structure, meaning, and joy. It pulls you forward. It lifts you out of the fog. It gives you a reason to get up, to keep going, to say, "There's more for me yet." And the best part? Purpose doesn't diminish with age. If anything, it deepens. You have experience, insight, and resilience that the world needs, whether it's shared in conversation, a smile, a helping hand, or a simple presence. So if you've been feeling like life pressed the pause button, know that you have the power to press play again. Confidence isn't something you lost. It's something that's patiently waiting for you to reclaim it. Not by going back to who you were, but by becoming someone even more grounded, wise, and radiant than before. There's something beautiful about discovering strength in a new form. One that isn't loud or youthful, but calm and unshakable. The kind of strength that comes from surviving what you never thought you could and deciding to keep showing up for life anyway. As you begin moving forward, regaining confidence isn't just about mindset or movement. It's also about taking back control. After a health scare, it can feel like your independence was snatched away. Even temporarily, suddenly, others are making decisions for you. Doctors set the rules. Family members worry and watch closely. And while their intentions are loving, it can start to feel like you're the one being left out of your own life. That's why one of the most empowering things you can do now is to start making small, independent choices again. Little things that say, "I'm still the author of this story." It might be deciding what to cook for dinner instead of having meals brought to you, or choosing which book to read, which path to walk, or what time you'd like to take your nap. Not because someone told you to, but because you decided. These tiny choices may seem insignificant, but they restore something sacred. Agency. And from that place of choice, confidence quietly begins to grow again. You stop seeing yourself as a patient and start seeing yourself as a person still capable of leading a meaningful, self-directed life. And don't underestimate the power of routine. Routines give structure to your day and send a message to your mind. You are in control. Try creating a simple morning ritual that's just for you. It could be sitting with a warm drink by the window, listening to music, journaling, or doing some light stretching. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it feels like a gift to yourself. A way of saying, "I am here, and I still get to choose how I begin my day." Now let's gently lean into one final truth. You don't need to be fearless to be confident. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the willingness to move forward with it, sitting quietly beside you. After what you've been through, it's perfectly okay to still feel some fear. It means you care. It means life still matters to you. But fear doesn't have to steer the ship anymore. You can acknowledge it, thank it for trying to protect you, and still move in the direction of hope, joy, and growth. Confidence isn't about pretending you're invincible. It's about showing up exactly as you are, scars, fears, wrinkles, wisdom, and deciding that your life is still worth fully living. Every single day, you might be surprised how resilient you really are. Not in a flashy way, but in a quiet, steady presence that grows stronger the more you trust yourself. You've made it through something life-altering, and now you're slowly rebuilding, brick by brick, breath by breath. And if today feels hard, if the road still feels long, remember this: You are not behind. You are not broken. You are in transition, just like a tree shedding leaves in winter. You are preparing for something new. Growth takes time, but it will come. So let's take a moment to breathe. Right now, gently, deeply, inhale hope. Exhale doubt. Again, let this be your moment, a quiet reminder that healing is not only possible, but already happening. You've made incredible progress, and even if you don't see it yet, it's there, in every choice you've made to keep going. And now, just as this video comes to a close, I want to remind you of something simple and powerful. You are not alone. Whatever you're facing, there are others walking a similar path. People who understand the quiet courage it takes to wake up each day and try again. People who know what it means to lose confidence and fight to get it back. That's why I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What part of this journey are you on right now? Have you found your strength again, or are you just beginning to look for it? Your words could be the exact encouragement someone else needs today. And if this video gave you a little hope, a little peace, or a small push forward, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe. This community is growing every day, and your presence here makes it richer, stronger, and more inspiring. Remember, your story is still being written. There are still new memories to create, new joys to discover, and new ways to shine. You don't need to rush. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just keep taking those small, steady steps. Because here's the truth. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by how you rise after. Here's to rediscovering your power. Here's to living your best life at any age.